there, Mr. Steve Darbro. How you doing?
Hey, doing great today. It's wonderful to be here.
Well, I appreciate you coming for one of the first Ramshackle Refuge podcasts. Here's the deal. I was like, okay, AI's taking everything. No careers, no jobs. God's going to be a fucking screwdriver that's from Sharper Image or some shit like this, right? What are we all going to do? And I see all of these happy, flappy idiots doing podcasts and stuff. More power to you, podcast community. Not slamming you, but there's a bunch of you. And I was like, okay. The ones I like are like, Jordan Peterson, Lex Friedman, a little serious, but still funny. So that's what I'm trying to do. Main premise of every topic we discuss is how it sort of fades gently, romantically, into a post-AI future for humanity. Like, what is the human answer of all of these topics that we talk about? How is that going to be resolved? How's it going to be addressed? Because nobody's announcing anything. Like, who's the AI czar? Like, who's in charge of making sure? So that's the main point of the podcast.
No, I love it. I mean, first of all, I like the word post AI.
Yeah, right.
There's a little bit of hope in there for us.
It's like post flood.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I think AI is a pretty amazing thing, and it's generating a lot of fortunes for a lot of people. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, but so did the AK-47.
Yeah, well, right. But I mean, as a creative, though, I kind of have mixed feelings about it. I think it's helped. In some ways, it's a great tool, but I think it's one of those tools that people lean on way too much.
So let me stop you. In your opinion, what are the great things that it's done for creatives? Like, what is the benefit?
Oh, if you need something real quick, like a graphic, like I need an armadillo throwing a football, and let's say you're not that great at sketching or something, and you want to finish your project right away, you just type that in the Photoshop AI generator or whatever, and you're like.
So are we talking a job or a creative? Because I understand that we're talking about a creative job, but that to me still sounds kind of sick and evil. Like, I mean, you hire somebody to make a graphic, right? And I understand not everybody's fucking Michelangelo.
Right.
But if you got hired and part of your job description was you're going to be expected to produce graphics. Now, I get it. I mean, in some jobs, nobody gives a fuck if you just pushed a button and there's the armadillo.
Right.
But that to me, again, leads inexorably to that's taking a job away from somebody who could actually do a really good Macy's catalog armadillo.
No, I get your point. And I guess I should clarify. Like, for me, the person who's paid to make the armadillo would be making, I think, an egregious shortcut by using AI to finish the project. But in the example I was citing, I guess I should have been more clear. Like, let's say the camera's painting across a panoply of animals.
Panoply.
And one of them just happens to be an armadillo. So it's like you just need a quick graphic, something in the background that's not important. You didn't want to spend a bunch of time on something that's going to be like maybe a few seconds in the frame.
Isn't that really, though, kind of the real kind of scary thing about it? Because the first term that came to my mind, hearing your very good opinion and valid opinion of it, is slippery slope. And
yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, if everybody can, and I get it. I mean, for like a company that's just like two guys in their mom's garage who have created a new widget, you can't hire a graphics team. So again, but what a slippery slope.
Yeah, I think so. And I think the lure of it is that it kind of, you bypass the discipline of whatever particular field you're messing around in. Yeah. And I think that's the problem right there, is you start to think like, oh, wow, like I was able to type in a prompt and it made this graphic. Yeah, I'm a genius.
Well, and the argument always is people used to make cars, and now you've got the robot Toyota arms that can do it, and that's just the evolution of the workforce, and people have to learn to change gears and adapt and all that. But like, I have to be a little stand my ground on this one, because like, that's all fine and good if you're Charlie, who I've been working on cars since I was 14 and I can go into upper management now and all this stuff. But when you're like a creative and every possible source of income that you can get is now removed because Bob can push a button and make the armadillo, that's to me, I'm not going to say it's like a war crime against the arts or something, right? But it's slightly different than the workplace example, because as you know, an artist can't exist on art alone until they get, big, if they ever do.
There's a threshold, yeah.
0.5% of us make it. And so if you remove that one, good luck in Starbucks for the rest of your life, Mr. Creative, but everybody likes your poster. Right. And so, like, I don't know if they're like, I mean, would you support a delineation or some sort of a regulation on how that affects the less corporate minded, the more in, because, America's really good at squashing the ability for your average American to make a business nowadays. Everything's top down pyramid, Walmart, Costco, Target, Target.
How about it? Yeah, how about it?
So, like, here we are removing one more avenue for people. Anyway, so it wasn't supposed to be an AI talk, but, Steve's a creative, and I wanted to get his thoughts on it.
I mean, it's a big conversation topically anymore.
I forgot to say, Merry Christmas.
Yes. Merry Christmas is the day after, yeah.
Yeah, so
cheers to that.
So Rob Reiner, huh?
Yeah, it's too bad. Too bad.
Do you know how messed up this country is?
I've noticed, yeah.
So
couldn't help but notice.
You didn't need a CNN News flash.
No, I can just look out there.
So this is why I'm a little wonky and people look at me funny. When the Rob Reiner thing happened, I mean, we're all kind of inured or deadened to, like, the celebrity death now sort of thing. I mean, when it was John Lennon, holy shit. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big stuff.
But I mean, they're doing this amazing job of just kind of like dying in these weird ways. And so this is how messed up my mind is. I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, kind of spoiled, ignored, rich son kills father and mother because he never made it big in daddy's shadow, right?
It's a metaphor for where our country's at currently, but go on.
And Trump says, didn't really like the guy, thought he was kind of a despicable person. And the left loses their shit.
Yeah.
But this is why I like to think I'm a little different. You don't see many actors blowing up Venezuelan drug boats. So you have a son who gets addicted to drugs, kills his father, and Sean Penn is not actively blowing up the things that caused the event to happen, right? Thoughts?
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying. And it is kind of weird about the celebrity deaths. Of course, there was the Gene Hackman thing
that
not
was
too
wild.
long ago. That was wild.
Did that wind up becoming a suicide? Was that like a group suicide or something?
Oh, yeah. It was dementia related, heartbreaking. I think, from what I understand, could be wrong, but I think like poor Gene Hackman was walking around dementia ridden with a dead wife like for a while before he eventually just died because no one was taking care of him, was my understanding.
Yeah, kind of like Stan Lee. Like when he got older, he had some like cute younger nurse person that was just feeding off of him. Like, who's watching these people?
Yeah.
But if the person that's going to watch you is the son that will knife you and your wife, it's like, where do you go for security and how? Anyway. So entertainment, let's have that as our first topic because you're an entertainer.
Love it.
One of the reasons I love Darbro is because he was out in L.A. for a while. He tried the Hollywood thing, worked out there. He's a bass player. His band, Ultravolt, everybody must check out.
Also, we got Midwest Contraband and Modi and Slip. And actually, I got a new thing going too, but we can talk about that later.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'll put a little fancy banner if people want to click. But so here's a big thing. You and I are Gen Xers, right? And Proudly?
I think it's the best generation, personally.
I'd agree, because we didn't want to be anything. Yes. It's like we don't want to be involved in politics, corporate America, and fuck the hippies.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're kind of cynical about all of it. And especially the tech stuff. Like, I think we grew up seeing it as a novelty, and now people are taking it super serious. Yeah. Social media and stuff like that was like, it was just a lark. MySpace, that was a goof.
Yeah.
But we never thought it would become so endemic to society like it is now.
But our generation is responsible for that.
Yeah.
The Silicon Valley guys, I mean, those are our generation. I remember when I was in college, the people across from me in the dorm I was in were working on a motion capture Mortal Kombat clone just for fun. And their dorm room was just nothing but like PCs and like, hardware. And they were like on the fringe of motion capture. And they actually asked me if I'd like punch for them. I said, I'm not. That's weird. The computer is stealing my soul, like the Native American.
You don't want the computer to know your punch.
Right. So let me ask you a question. You just said you're proudly Gen X. Do you think our generation has any accountability for being inactive? Because what I've noticed a lot is Gen Xers just kind of like faded into corners to exist free of, the political experience or the activist position. And after our generation, it exploded into this special interest. Everybody's got an activist thing, but it was corrupted. Like, did we miss a beat where we could have taken that kind of youthful desire to not be a part of anything corrupted? Did we damage humanity by not being as active? Because we just thought, a Pearl Jam song was written, that's going to change the world.
Yeah, 100%. I do think we kind of lost our chance to affect the younger generations, but I think it was due to our kind of altruistic outlook of Gen X. We were always kind of, everything was relative. Everything was kind of hands off in an ideal way. We were keen to let people just do their thing. We were keen to kind of ignore whatever commercialized society trend was coming down. And so I think we didn't really do a great job of passing down our ethos, you know what I'm saying? Like,
which was kind of like burn it all down.
Which is kind of burn it all down. It was also a lot of nothing you can say can never affect me. It's just words.
And nothing that I can say will change anything. I mean, I think with the ideology, there was a lot of jaded, what's the word I'm looking for? Cynicism, or what's the point?
Yeah. Right, exactly. And I think that was the cornerstone for a lot of Gen X, like the 90s. That was pretty much just the whole entire vibe. And of everything is like cynical and everything's cheesy, and a lot of people being sardonic all the time and sarcastic.
So because you're an observer, like I when I think of Steve Darbro, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is satire. Like you have a very satirical kind of approach to things, and you're able to kind of like laugh off like a lot of real serious things because being snarky is kind of close to being God. And I'm the same way. Like, I just said the thing about Rob Reiner, right? It's like, God bless him, but he also said he didn't care about Rush Limbaugh getting cancer, right? So it's kind of like you have to worry about karma coming back. But the point is, it's like, why does anybody care? Like, after we all grew up, there was a precipice into corporate managed hyper what's the word I'm looking for, like microscoped, like movie Disney, everything had to hit each checkbox. You couldn't have like a Paris, Texas movie or other movies like that. And like I'm trying to figure out why it was sort of handed over to interests that now you can't go anywhere. Like I walk into a Target and I just want a pair of white fucking pajamas, and every pajama has Hello Kitty or Lilo and Stitch or fucking Star Wars or whatever. And I get like, yeah, they got big and they got bigger, so they took over the market. But like, why? Like, why did people buy that shit? I'm going to let you talk in just a quick second, but I had my friend Sam O'Grady one time here, and he said, what scares you? And I said, being in a room with a grown-up that loves Star Wars. Right?
Right. As opposed to just appreciate it.
It's like, you're a grown man. Like, you're a man. You're like 48 years old or something. And the first thing you want to talk to me about is your Boba Fett tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. And Star Wars is kind of interesting thing because it was, I remember seeing it in the theaters barely. It's one of my first memories.
Yeah. And it started the whole thing.
And then they ruined it. So it was kind of interesting to see that just because something continues doesn't mean it always progresses.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe things should just be left to just saturate in the annals of history, as it were. Star Wars being one of them, I think what happens is it becomes a commodity, and then it becomes a meal ticket, obviously. And then the art is sucked out of it, and it just becomes a husk.
You can literally say that about every single IP in the world nowadays.
That's why they all suck anymore.
Right. And so let's flip it. And so why is somebody still going to Friday the 13th, 83? Like, remember when we were kids, we kind of laughed that there was a fourth Friday the 13th?
Oh yeah, same with Rocky. We're like, oh my gosh, I'm making a third Rocky. Like this guy's.
But I
he's
mean,
a boxer.
is the audience to blame for that a little bit? Like, are people becoming so kind of, because, and I'm going to go ahead and say it just because I don't care. Like, I mean, society, especially in American society, has become very, very docile and dumb. And I think there's an illness in this country. And that illness is starting from the 80s, you know, the sugar poppy, breakfast cereal, the food supply is poisoned, the entertainment's poisoned, and sex and drugs and celebrating crime culture and hip hop and the movies. And Keanu Reeves is such a great guy, and he shot 350 fucking people. I get the thing, you know, hey, the market supply is what the audience wants and all of this stuff. But, like, how sick is America after sort of having, like, decades of... Because remember when we were kids, they said heavy metal music is satanic and D&D. And do you think they were right?
I think they were right, but it was overly hyped. Like, obviously, there's a corrupting influence to some of those things. A lot of the stuff I think is harmless. But if you go too deep on it, and maybe that was what they're warning. They're warning, like, hey, if you go too deep on this stuff, you'll become a guy who's into Star Wars well into his 50s.
Yeah.
And we didn't listen. But for me, I don't think it's necessarily a sickness in society. I think the problem is there's a pervasive gullibility in society. And
that's why I use the word dumb. I think it's kind of like this combination, and I don't know if it's intentional or not, like dumb down society so they will accept the fucking sawdust entertainment.
Well, in that regard, I think they've succeeded because I think everybody, especially from our generation, looked to the media for everything, like what's cool, what's beauty, what's success,
G.I. Joe.
What's happiness. Oh yeah, all that. And so we thought, and it got to the point where it's like even during COVID, it's like, well, we can't trust anything that's coming from anything except the establishment, you know. And I think that's kind of, unfortunately, one of the lingering effects of Generation X is we were keen to just let the experts handle it. I really don't care.
I think, yes. And I think also a big component of Gen X's psychopathy, or whatever you want to call it, is that, like, we were the divorced generation. I mean, like, probably 8 out of 10 of my friends were from divorced households. And I think, having seen my friends grow up and have kids and go into the marketplace of reality, I saw a lot of them kind of adopt almost like a Hippocratic just do no harm sort of a mentality in life. Because, you know, their dad was an alcoholic and beat the dog, and their mom was a drunk and, you know, was sleeping with half the town, or like they saw their dad go into like insurance because it was the only job available for him, and he was fucking over 300 people, but he got his book, and, you know, he was making $150K a year, and, you know, all of this stuff. And it's kind of like, it's like I said at the start, it's like, okay, don't be that, don't be that, don't be that. Holy shit. Right. Don't go into politics. Don't think you can make a change.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what was the avenue for us to be safe other than like a turtle, siege, get behind the wall, protect that idea? Because we were really, really proud of our individuality as a generation.
For sure. And I'm still kind of proud of it. But
but we didn't want it to be corrupted. So it's almost like they froze us.
Yes. 100%. I think they froze us because, well, like I said, we just have a foot in both worlds, the old world pre-internet and this new tech world.
I knew somebody that was born 3 years after the Civil War, right? I met somebody that was...
It's crazy to think of the overlap like that. But, I mean, going back to what I was saying, I think it was just how we were raised. We were raised watching movies where there's some stodgy white religious antagonist who wants to stop the people from having fun, you know.
Footloose.
Footloose. Like, so many movies in the 80s. And so
Authority, Ferris Bueller and the Principal.
Right. And so exactly. And I think that as a result, we were like, well, we don't want to be the person telling the younger generations what to do. So we just kind of zipped our lips and just let them do whatever. And we, you know,
kind of cowardly, isn't it?
Kind of cowardly in retrospect. I mean, I'm sure it probably seemed like we're being real chill and real cool, but seeing where society's going. It's like, I feel like we should have stood up more for the stuff that we were raised to.
Well, and it was co-opted, right?
Big time.
And I have a story I could say that I'm not sure if I want to share that's relevant, but like that co-option of the Gen X ideology, or not ideology, the hopefulness, the sort of positivity of our generation, even though we were really violent, the mosh pits and the graffiti and stuff like that.
The movies, all of it.
That was kind of co-opted by all of these corrupted organizations that we see now that say we're fighting against it and we're not a part of it, and then you find out the Black Lives Matter's chairman stole $300 million or whatever the number is, and it's like, and that's a second topic that I wanted to get to. I don't tell my guests what I'm going to talk about, so it can be organic.
I have no idea.
But the notion of corruption, and so maybe this will dovetail with our Gen X talk, but I wake up some days and I look at what's going on, and I thought $8 billion worth of corrupted funds in Minnesota was bad. The Tim Waltz,
that whole
Somali thing.
Right.
They just released a report that Gavin Newsom's California is responsible for $59 billion in fraud of federal money. So just 2 states defrauded the taxpayer for $60 billion. And Tim Waltz probably killed that senator in Milwaukee who voted against, or not Milwaukee, in Minnesota, who voted against getting rid of federal Medicaid money to Somalis. Like, remember that lady and her husband that were shot dead in Minnesota?
Yeah.
And they had that weird white guy who had been trained by BlackRock or something. Like, and it's like, how the fuck did society just not stop and say, fix that shit? Like, find out what that shit is.
Yeah.
And I'm convinced that California purposefully burnt down the Palisades because the first thing that Gavin Newsom said was like, we already have investors for a redevelopment thing and all this stuff. And you have 2 choices. Yeah, that's fucking politics.
Right.
Which is like the typical American response. It's like, what do you do?
That'd be Gen X right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then you have my response as an anarchist Irish fuck who was raised in a political family, a small one, but I mean, I was involved in Indianapolis politics my whole youth. And I go, there's a limit, man. And when every political story is one of Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio beating Warren Buffett's.
She's just that savvy, that's all. She's got her
she-
finger on the pulse of economy.
She's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
But why? And that's why I like you as a guest today, because I know that you actually will contemplate this and not just give me a, well, that's the way it is. Why are we accepting it? Is it because we're all just so comfortable? Like, we got good shoes. Even our poor people can have a Nintendo Wii or something, and we don't want to rock the boat because our own little personal island? Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm sure that's it. We've kind of been lulled into this complacency where we've got everything we need, plenty of food, plenty of shelter, Of course, if you scratch beneath the surface and look, the food is all garbage, chemicals, and the shelter.
Illegal in most of the rest of the world.
Yeah, and most of the technology we put in our house is just spying on us and just using us for marketing. So, yeah, I think we've kind of become from the pioneers and the strong cowboys of old into, we're just like lab rats now in the utopian experiment.
Do you know the real weird gray alien theory?
Oh, what's that?
That gray aliens are actually future us's.
Oh, I've heard that, yeah.
And that they're coming back in time because they over-feminized with gene splicing and stuff. So they're so androgynous now that they don't have good gene lines to promulgate and to keep evolving, and everything's sort of inbred now because they're all sharing the same sperm canisters or sperm trebuchets. I don't know how they do it. but that to me is I'm kind of fuck, I kind of think that actually sounds legit, because you're looking at all of this kind of another theory. I'm babbling, sorry, but I would babble if you and I were conversing. So
True.
I'm going to try to give space. But when everything started World War II, and America shotgunned out of World War II, and we're we got everything.
Yeah.
Everybody owes us fucking money. We've got all this manufacturing.
We were on top.
The best weaponry, all this shit. And I think from that point on, I lost it. Fuck.
Well, I mean, to kind of piggyback off of that, I think you're.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
And then you've got like an hour. There was this like big base of wealth, and they were going to protect it all, right? And they realized that the biggest threat to the entrenched elite post-World War II aristocracy of America, the Grumman, Lockheed Martin fucking military-industrial complex, was the World War II fighter boy. The guy that just wanted a T-bone steak, his fucking like 1,500 square foot house and 15 kids, and he didn't want to talk about the war. But he wanted to start a machine shop. He wanted to have his wife to have a little pastry shop in the small town and all that. And they realized that guy is never going to accept servitude.
Right, you can't control him.
I mean, he literally stabbed a dude in the eyeball in the Ardennes forest.
Yeah, he's not going to listen to your social engineering.
Right, and so I think there was this huge attempt through food supply, through entertainment, through everything to just remove that guy.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
Yeah. Okay, so now...
Well, I mean, there's a couple of them left. You being probably one of the last ones I know. But
dude, don't compare me to a World War II guy.
Well, not a World War II guy.
That kills me. I knew my grandfather was in the war, dude, and I'm nowhere close to that fucking guy.
No, but I mean, you don't strike me as someone who's easily controlled. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't seem as gullible. Going back to what I was saying before, is like... We didn't really trust the media very much in Generation X. And I don't know what happened along the way, but somewhere the media became like just where you go to find out what's true, which is a shame because very often they're dishonest. And I think what we did is we just kind of allowed it because I somehow, of course, I'm speaking for a whole generation here, so I'm really talking out of turn.
Well, if there was ever a spokesperson.
Yeah. But I just feel like we just... somehow we're under the impression that everyone would just kind of follow with our kind of hands off. Our words won't hurt me, and we're strong. We don't trust the establishment. We don't trust the media. We don't trust corporations.
It made so much sense to us. We couldn't believe that people wouldn't kind of see it after us.
Oh, I'm so shocked every day that it happens. How it happens.
I was walking around Istanbul with my wife on that trip we took. And we were in this area called Baghdad Street. It's right on the Sea of Marmara. And I was waiting for all the flavor. Like, the mad Muslim preacher guy that's like beating, whatever. And like, all these wonderful ancient things. I could have been in Carmel.
Yeah.
It's Louis Vuitton, Starbucks.
It's, the mallification of the entire world. Because you probably remember going up around Indy, like you'd go to a different mall, there'd be different shops. Yeah. There'd be different arcades, and you'd get excited, like, oh, we're going to the Glendale Mall, because
remember the Abbey coffee shop?
Yeah, the Abbey, and there was so much variety, I think, that we didn't figure that everything would just get kind of sphinctered down to just a handful of options. I mean,
and we hated brands.
Like,
to this day, when I see somebody that has like Ralph Lauren's name or Nike on their shirt, I'm like, why are you doing advertising for a company?
Yeah, that's cornball for sure. But I mean, think back to even something as benign as trick or treating. Like you would go out and you trick or treat, you'd come back, you'd have this sack of all these different candies. I mean, crazy stuff. Sometimes someone would throw an apple in there or something. Yeah.
Or it was from some weird Amish guy who made his own candies.
He made his own candies, and now, like my daughter would come back and you look and it's like the same 5 or 6 like candy bars. You got Reese's, Snicker, Milky Way, and like that's it. And it's kind of the same thing with fast food. There used to be crazy fast food all over the place, and now it's like not that I recommend fast food, but it's like the same like 3 or 4 things. Same with the media. It's like you want to try to find a media that you can. Well, you've got like 5 or 6 different options, and that's it. And so I think what they did is they just kind of changed the dialogue tree so that we really only have so many options we can go. And
they were really good also at selling corporate America as edgy to us. So like you remember the commercials from the 90s? It'd be like, McDonald's, we hate Hitler too. Or it'd be like, what's the fucking Reebok, right?
Yeah.
It's like Reebok, our mascot is a fucking claymation hippopotamus called Joe Cool or some shit. It's like, like I know what's happening to me, man. Like I know what they're doing. But Joe Hippopotam dude's fucking rad. Like, I mean, dude, I had little figurines of the Noid. I literally,
Noid.
I collected Noids. It's a pizza propaganda tool.
Yeah, a little pizza goblin that makes your pizza cold.
Yeah. But I had them and I loved them.
Well, I mean, it was great. It was creative. I mean, we couldn't have known back then. It just seemed like things were moving in a more creative direction. Little did we,
Lollapalooza.
yeah, little do we know that one by one, all the different other pizzerias would just go away, you know.
Yeah.
And now it's like you don't have to worry about the Noid anymore because it's pretty much if you want chain pizza, it's like Domino's or one of other like 6 different options.
It was kind of like the buried pharaohs of Egypt, right? There was like the baby boomer generation, for all of their countless flaws, had it really rough because of kind of like what people face now, of people not wanting to retire, and Joe Correa, staying as the CEO until he was 88 years old,
Right.
and having the beautiful house in the suburb while he's still doing the thing. And there was so much of a competitive, like, I gotta be a multimillionaire too, because my grandpa came back from the war and made a ball bearing factory and made millions for the family. Like, there was a lot of opportunity, right?
Oh yeah.
And there was so much of this squashing expectation, on the hippie generation. They fucked everybody for 4 or 5 years, did a lot of acid, and then they woke up one day, and if they didn't become psychotics, like fucking Bundy or like the Manson family or something like that, they were like, wow, that was fun, but like dad's checks stopped arriving. Right? So I got to figure out some skeevy way through the system and maintain my, I used to be hairy and naked at Woodstock, but now I got to go sell fucking Pez dispensers.
Right. Yeah. And for corporate America. Yeah.
But
the enemy.
Right. But I talk to older baby boomers now because I'm in a neighborhood full of them, and they still have this real antagonistic approach to their country people, like their fellows. They're like they really they're like, yeah, he's a fucking asshole. I think he sold cars or whatever. Like, it's like shouldn't he have?
Yeah. What's so wrong with that? Someone's got to.
Yeah, and so like everybody has their baby boomer hate, which is valid, but like for me, I see it as this, like they were so hyper pressured into being this competitive win at all costs sort of mentality.
Right.
I don't know. I went off on a spiel. All right, so the corruption angle that we talked about, do you see any way of that reversing? Because corruption, and I know that Roman senators were corrupt. Okay.
This isn't something new for sure.
If people ever do watch this and have comments, somebody's going to go, "Good Caligula."
Actually, I think not everybody was corrupt because, I think the horse that Caligula put on the Senate had a good heart. He was for the people. It was a good horse.
What happened to the horse?
Caligula, I think he
fucked him.
Yeah. Probably knowing Caligula, right? Anything, but I think he on a whim, just like as a power play, kicked a senator. It was like, hey, you're off here, and instead I'm gonna have my horse.
Oh yeah.
My horse come sit on here. But
didn't Napoleon do something similar with like a dog or something? Like made him a general.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if our politicians do something that wild here.
Well,
shortly.
we're coming, man, like to a place, because like with AI especially, like people. There's either going to be mass suicide because, I was a mechanic my whole life and that's my whole identity and I don't know what to do with my fucking day. Or there's going to be this complete, like, culling of society, which is the worst case scenario, where they finally realize they can just put cyanide in every Cheerio box.
Yeah.
Sort of a scenario. And these are all talked about. People have talked about this stuff. But I'm going to give you a thought of mine and then let you go with it because I want your opinion.
Okay, let's do this.
I believe that everything that came before this second was valid because we were living in that evolutionary model. And for us to get from the tree and the opposable thumb and through the harshness of fucking meteor strikes and fucking ice ages and all of this stuff, it makes sense to me that the evolutionary... Bless you. Bless you. That's my beautiful wife. So I'm down with that. Like, I don't think people are bad for that. The disembowelings and the pouring gold down people's throats, all the atrocities
the good old
of the
days.
past.
Yeah.
Dude, you know how many people I've wanted to pour molten gold down? So I get that. But I think that we're actually at a point now. I think we've passed it. I think we passed it in the 50s, where I think it's almost humanity's obligation to consciously and as a whole discard it. and say, we can now create everything easily. We can now run society with known laws. Don't kill, don't steal, don't whatever, like the basics. We can now produce enough food for the world 300 times over. You just send a little robot tractor across Kansas. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think evolutionary, that was the goal.
Yeah.
I think the goal was to discard the reptilian primate side of us, reach this point, then go, holy shit, we can actually focus on being post-human. How do we do that? What's the shift from that? Because there's a lot of people making the corrupted $59 billion that don't want that shit to go away. There's a lot of Putins, a lot of Kim Jong-ils.
Yeah.
How does humanity, first off, say we agree that that's the reality, and here's how we should go about doing it?
Well, just to spit it back, so you're saying that now that we're kind of done with the, what's the word I'm looking for? The side of history wherein we're just struggling to survive
and fighting each other,
to
be on top.
Now we're at a place where that's seemingly fixed,
Well, and kindness can kind of come to the fore versus I have to kill you so my family eats.
That's not happening. But
well, why not?
Well, because I don't think. We're getting a little conspiratorial here, but I don't think the power brokers want us unified in that way. I think.
So the question remains: how do we change that? Like, because we know that they don't want us to. Like, how do we make them?
Well, you just got to break out of the programming. Well, I mean, easier said than done, but I guess you just start one day at a time. Like, you maybe go around, get to know your neighbors, get to know people, talk to them. Set aside petty political differences, because I think the political is being hoisted on us as a lever to separate us.
Absolutely.
When really, I think anyone who's a thinking person knows that it's just a game.
Yeah,
and it's
game.
it's just a shell game, right? I think it's just corporatocracy just trying to take over and remove any kind of sovereignty to create little nation corporatocracy states. That's what I think. Hopefully it's not happening.
Do you think they're just trying to like have enough time go by where they've hoarded all the beans? Like they're all trying to position so that when a real bad event happens, either intentionally planned or just random, the fall of society. Like to me, because they're buying all these super yachts, they're finding all these the good old days that you said. You remember when you could just get a pitchfork and a torch and go to the castle?
You could just go right there and just have with your grievances.
Yeah. Fuck you, Baron.
Right.
But like, who is the CEO of NVIDIA?
I don't know. I had no idea.
Who is the CEO of Monsanto?
Yeah, you're not supposed to know that, right? You're not supposed to know that. Yeah.
Right. Like they've done a really good job. Like they've said like, here's your cozy upper poverty class lifestyle. If you think about it, like, I mean, all of us are kind of living on like, a threat of death and debt and mortgage and all this stuff, but you have enough and the kids can have a fucking, Noid.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Kids get annoyed to get a pizza every Friday. Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're in this enclave where everybody's a billionaire. We have all the beans, or at least all the beans are funneling into us,
right,
every day. Tick, 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 tick. I want to know, like, what would be the leverage to get them on board? Like, you've got your beans. Like, you're good. Like, you're good. Now let's, like, kind of focus on making everybody good. And if that's not your intention, then we need to kill you. Like, we need to get rid of you. We're there. Because the goal for humanity is either for humanity as a whole to succeed, or for it just to be a whittling down process where a bunch of motherfuckers that like you and I wouldn't like are enjoying Eden.
And I think it's the second one is what I think. Because if you just look at how society's getting engineered, stuff like family is kind of downplayed. It's like, it's kind of lame to be a family guy when you could be an influencer, or you could be an Instagram person going around looking cool in the Maldives or whatever. It's like that's more important. At least that's what's being presented to us as more important than being the reliable father figure who works a job and provides for his family.
So it's as simple as just keeping up with the Joneses? It's that simple?
I think, a little bit. And also you just got to, and this is easier said than done, you just got to tune out the noise that's being that besets us at all time coming from the media, because they're trying to tell you what's cool and they're trying to tell you what the thing to do is. And as Generation X, I think that's probably my biggest regret is I fell for a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get married until my late 30s, and I didn't become a father until I was almost 40. And so I've just got the one child, and that was a big time for me because I realized I was like, whoa, life does have meaning. Like up to that point, I was just trying to play the game and getting older, becoming.
Which kind of goes to that satirical view I have of you, because I mean,
that's where that comes from for sure.
Like I know how good a person you are, right?
Yes.
But you have kind of an aura around you. I mean, in the music scene, people used to joke and call him the narc, right? And like he would kind of walk around, and it's like, I am literally seeing like 8% of this guy, and I dove deeper, and we became chummy.
Yeah.
But like if you were to see Steve walking down the street, people would be kind of like, insurance guy.
Yeah, insurance guy. He's square. Don't talk to him. He's going to try to sell you on timeshare or something. Yeah.
So that moral decline again. Like let's maybe not moral decline, because I don't want to sound like Jimmy Swaggart if anybody remembers that fucking guy, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
By the way, what happened to all the asshole corrupt ministers?
Oh, they got outed.
I miss them.
Yeah, I do miss them too.
You couldn't go a week without some motherfucker that looked like Dark Helmet from fucking Spaceballs hair.
You could tell by the hair. That's how you could tell.
Baker. For people who are a little younger than us, like there was a whole couple of years where every month some Southern television billionaire preacher got caught like having sex with whatever or stealing $5 trillion and stuff. Okay. As a musician, as an entertainer, and as I think a student of kind of like zeitgeist or culture, like you're kind of tapped into a lot of things. He's a very experimental musician type guy too. How much of a responsibility, going back a little bit, do you think the entertainment industry has to the moral disconnect between what makes a society sustainable? Because we're so like. And in particular, just because it's a real big topic nowadays, the sort of hypersexualization of the internet and movies and like, the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, but also with the, like I said, John Wick killing 300 people, but Keanu Reeves is such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Because when we were kids, we kind of laughed that off. Oh, fuck you. You can't tell us what to watch. I want to play D&D and kill 50 goblins. But we kind of had like this foundation of ethics pre that, whereas post that, everything is kind of from the start, violence and Call of Duty, and we raise an entire crop of kids who log in and literally kill 300 people in a video game, and then go to school. Yeah. Right. Because I don't want to feel like I've evolved from the guy that was like, no man, everybody's responsible for their own fucking shit. But now, like it's kind of like a guy who like had a baby and put the baby in a cellar and then just every day abused it. Right? Remember those old experiments you'd hear about, like some crazy fucking doctor put their kid and raised it like a wolf?
Oh, yeah, right. Raised like a wolf to see how it would,
Do you think that actually has like applicability to like what's going on now with the moral disconnect?
Well, I mean, just kind of not to keep harp on the same thing, but I think, to answer your question, I totally think that because I think the way we were sold, especially growing up in the 80s in particular, and maybe a little bit more so in the 90s too, but we were raised like look at these people, these celebrities, these rock stars, and look at the lives they're living, and don't you want to live this way? What do you want to live like, Lester Summerall? Like, give me a break.
Yeah. And look how much Brad Pitt cares about Tibet.
Oh yeah, and right, and they make it look like they're real altruistic people. Like somehow, if you're in the club, then you're that's like a leg up for you in society by being friends with Brad Pitt or whatever.
Dude, why can't George Clooney just fall off a boat like in the North Sea somewhere? Anyway, sorry, George.
But and I think for me that was the illusion that I fell for. I was like, I gotta be just like Brad Pitt. I gotta be out there rocking all day and then partying all night, and because that was what was cool. Anything else was just lame and square. And working a job. Getting money, having escrow, that kind of stuff was like worse than death for me. At least that's what society imprinted in my mind. That kind of thought.
And the whole time having like a Dead Kennedys album playing in your back brain.
Oh yeah. And at the same time, or you'd go see like a Schwarzenegger movie, and like you're saying, like with John Wick, where it's like you see hundreds of people get killed, and it's just like, yeah, that was awesome. But I mean, you don't humanize that. You don't think, well, shoot, someone's got to tell the mother of that goon that Arnold just threw off a cliff that his son is dead now.
The detective has to go to tell mom that Carlos, the drug runner, was decapitated.
Yes, right. Like, how did he die? He was thrown out of an airplane by some big guy, some big Austrian guy.
And where was this?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean,
what was he doing? He told me he was working at.
Yeah, he said he was working at the mall, but no. Yeah, and so we were just kind of numbed to that level. It's just like, yeah, he's a bad guy. We got to kill him.
Well, and it was really compressed if you think about it. I mean, from the time you and I were born to like whatever, like it was the rise of like the horror film.
Yeah.
It was the rise
slashers,
of like, the zombie movies, with Night of the Living Dead.
Oh,
and all
yeah.
It was the rise of the action star and like he's cool because he's got big pecs and kills a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It was the rise of like death metal and like heavy metal and like
angsty.
Ozzy Osbourne singing
super
about
angsty.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, sure, that was cool because we compared it to what we saw, which was like you said, square shit.
Mm-hmm.
But if the way that I'm able to kind of say I'm not going to be that is by listening to a guy that's talking about the devil.
Yeah, right.
Like, and again, I'm not Christian, like, gods, devils, whatever, but I do believe in demons, right? I believe in spirits that affect.
They'll get you.
But like the thing that I was able to say, okay, I don't want to be this, so I have to gravitate towards this, and everything about this was violence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that set off kind of a really fucked up thing in our generation's brain. I mean, we played Army guy, right? Like, we'd go out and Sergeant Rock and G.I. Joe and like bang, 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 bang and Cowboys and Indians sort of thing. I don't know. It just seems like they were really trying to raise consumers that were, I don't know.
No, I mean, 100%. I agree with you. And I think it's even maybe a little bit slimier than that even too, because not only did they want to instill that kind of violence and that kind of desire for more and more like macabre death.
Tell me you're going to go to the recruitment office on this one.
Well, no, I'm not going to say that per se, but I think it was doing that. And at the same time, I think it was killing the real heroes in our society. Like if you look back, it seems like most of the heroes you would get before like popular entertainment took off, talking like the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, was probably like hometown people, like a ball player, the fireman, maybe even your own like parents. So like maybe your dad, you just really like think you respect your dad like he's successful, and so your dad's your hero kind of thing.
Because you saw him come home every day.
Yeah, you saw him come home every day, and you saw him
beat down a little bit,
beat down, but always there and always providing.
Play catch, yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. So those, I think, were the heroes, and I think those are the rightful heroes. But then what happened was society came in and was like, no, your dad's lame. He's square. He doesn't know what's fun. He doesn't know what's
sucker.
Cool. He's a sucker, right? He fell for it. The real hero is this
fictional anime.
Yeah, a fiction or some like detective who's like super muscled and like he'll sleep with a woman, but he's not going to marry her, and God forbid if she ever gets pregnant, because there's going to be he's not going to go for that. Yeah. And so we kind of ate that up, I think, because for whatever reason, I don't know. It's hard to say now.
It's so funny, but like literally all we're talking about, and I hate that word, but like we're just talking about kind of like the campfire storytelling tradition of humanity. But it's almost like it was used as the biggest weapon against humanity. It's like, when storytelling becomes, I mean, obviously propaganda or something, but actually worse than that, because
like
it's not
weaponized,
weaponized, entertainment. And I honestly think it is. I think it was intentional.
Oh, yeah. I mean, looking back, you can kind of, I mean, at the time, like I was young and I was, impressionable. So it just seemed like it was just a cool thing. But as I look back, it's like, wow, it looks like almost all that was like breadcrumbs leading us to right where we're at, where it's just ready to hand stuff over to AI. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I think we kind of talked that one to death. I think that was a good discussion because, I mean, like, again, like our whole generation, we were really, really neurotic and confused by, like, is this really society? Like I just like hanging out in the basement apartment in Broad Ripple with my buddy doing shrooms and like, you know, laughing about stuff. And like I have to go outside and there's all this bullshit. So, okay, cool. Well, what's on your plate? Let's do a little Darbro. Like what's your newest endeavor?
Oh, well, you know me, I'm always up to something.
By the way, he's always been one of my greatest. Like, if I ever need to call up somebody creative, if I'm having a block on a song, this guy is my number one go-to.
Yeah, so I've, of course, still working with Midwest Contraband with Johnny Ping and Shauna Ping, Matt Kennicott. Yeah, that's great. We've been working on a 3 EP release for the longest, pretty much since COVID. And it's a tough one. It was a little bit of a labyrinth. That's why it's taken us so long to do, but it's some of the most challenging material we've made.
Is it a concept or is it all just like...
It's loosely a concept. It's not like... it doesn't really tell a story, but if you kind of follow along, there's a lot of through lines. There's a lot of repeating narratives that kind of come back. So Midwest Contraband, we're staying busy. Hope to get some stuff released here shortly. Of course, Ultravolt, we just put out Kobe DuPont under Ultravolt Presents.
How to build a perfect horse or whatever it was.
Yeah, we must build the perfect horse.
Well, yeah, and that was been trying for millennia to build the perfect horse.
And that little spot I thought was pretty good. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the 80s where it's like this is the more perfect horse than the actual horse because, like, I don't know, whatever, it's got IBM torso
and upgrade
yeah,
and
right.
never be happy. No.
Yeah,
it's like the old 80s refrigerator that's going to outlast our species, right? It's like in some barn in McCordsville, you know, and I have to buy a new fridge every 4 fucking years.
So Ultravolt, we just put that out and we're already working on our next thing. Well, we're in Ultravolt, we have two, it's like kind of two-pronged. We have Ultravolt, we call Ultravolt proper, which is what we usually play live. But then we also kind of branched out on something we called Ultravolt Presents, which is more stuff we wanted to be able to create stuff unencumbered from having to play it live.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Studio experimentation.
Sort of studio experimentation.
If you want to throw in a synthetic trombone, go for it.
Right, yeah. Well, because I'm sure it's, as you're writing, I don't know if you're kind of the same way, but in Midwest Contraband especially, it's like we don't really want to stray outside of stuff we can perform live. We try to stay pure in that regard.
I kind of fell away from that just because, I mean, when I was doing like my big touring, like from here to California and back, there was such a decay or absence of or death of places that you could play original stuff.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I had my go-tos like you're talking about, but I was like, fuck it, I'm going to throw everything at the wall now. And I'll figure out how to play it. But I stopped gigging because most of what I did was, you know, go play like a seaside marina in Daytona Beach, and they wanted to hear fucking Buffett or something.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And well, but see, I lost that. You know, we all say, oh, I'm an artist. Well, I totally lost it. It's like you're telling me I can sit and get paid on a dock and like literally comically perform Jimmy Buffett, like just mock it. Like and they're like yeah. It's like, I mean, I'll be that asshole, like I literally will, because the last couple of times I threw in some original stuff, you know, the audience was not the right audience, but all of the audiences that would have loved Siege Ramshackle were gone.
Yeah, where'd they go?
They're all gone. Like I saw a statistic that something like 92% of all original venues died in COVID. 92% of the Melody Inns or the State Streets, you know, that we, you know.
Well, somehow we've still got those. Thank goodness. I love those spots. State Street, Melody Inn, Healer, etc. But yeah, mostly it's cover banderific around these parts. I don't know. Maybe that's how it is across the whole nation.
It's worse. Indianapolis used to be kind of, I called it a pit. Like, you know, it was almost impossible to escape the orbit of Marion County to actually be a working musician. Like so many people just stayed here and bitched about it.
True.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But as I try, like even Ohio, Illinois, like regional stuff, I couldn't find one original venue that wanted to book a band from out of state. So
yeah, that's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
just say what you will about Marion County. Like at least they still have several.
Yeah, you got to hand it to them, and you got to hand it to those venue owners. David Brown over at the Melody Inn, and Mark Tester at the State Street.
Panfill, right? Is he Healer? Is it Mark?
Healer, I'm not as sure. Tester is, I'm pretty sure, over at State Street. And I love them for how they keep that open.
Absolutely.
It's what keeps me going as an artist, because it would be pretty bad. But I mean, unfortunately, yeah, it's one thing to be able to play at a venue, play original stuff, but it's another thing to get people to get excited to come out and hear something they've never heard before. And but this time they're getting it because it's from their work buddy. So, so get excited.
I've gotten to the point where I can't even talk about the music business anymore because it just makes me sad.
It's depressing. Yeah.
Well, and everybody says, oh, people are always going to want to have the human element in art, and like, I just honestly don't fucking think so. Like, I don't. And I never thought I'd be that guy. Like, I mean, a lot of you just being exposed to me will probably not know that I used to have fucking hair down to here and biker leather.
I always thought you'd look good with a haircut. And look at you now. You look great.
But, I mean, I was kind of known as being like the motherfucker, like the wild, anarchistic.
Oh, yeah, the subversive. Yeah.
Sure.
That's why I was so drawn to you, man, as I loved it.
Well, it wasn't because of my...
No, dude, it was the vile cynicism.
And that's still there. I mean, it's still there, but like, when you see Charlie Kirk's head pop off, you realize, you kind of want to see your son turn 80 or something. And so like,
it's
right?
getting real bad out there for sure.
Well, and I just wish all those compassionate leftists who want gun laws would stop shooting people. What the fuck? and that's the American illness that I'm getting at. Like, legit, the people who are anti-fascism, anti-gun, anti-America,
anti-corporation
are shooting everybody.
Yeah, and telling you to listen to Pfizer or whatever.
Yeah, hey, stick that needle in.
Yeah, because they said so, and they're a multi-billion corporation. So who are you going to trust?
Do you want to kill society because of your American patriarchal conservative view on vaccinations? What's wrong with you? Oh, wait, 30 guys just died in Italy from the vaccine.
Fuck, yeah, whoops. Well, you want to study the vaccine and kill grandma?
Yeah.
Like, just take it and just be done with it, like me.
I've never, and again, maybe this is that subversive fuck that you fell in love with or something when we first met, but like, I've never apologized to saying that shit was engineered to see how easily fucking people would let government stick shit in their blood. Like,
I think everyone's arrived at that.
Well, where were they when I was fucking suffering? Like, I mean, Jesus Christ, I had to deal with artists that, like, my bass player almost punched one of my best friends because he walked into the Melody Inn without a mask on. No, not even that. He had a mask on and he removed it to drink his beer.
Oh my God.
And my bass player, you know who that was back in the day.
Oh, yes.
Like, treated him like he was fucking a Satanist.
Yeah, right. A literal Nazi.
Right.
Yeah, that was a crazy time. So psyop.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not here to...
Let's see what happens to the mice when we remove the cheese.
And I don't have anything against people that, took the vaccine. I know we were all scared and... it just seemed like the safe way to go. So I get it. I'm not here to slag him. My wife took it in a few boosters also.
Yeah, my son has it in him.
So
I'm waiting to see when he turns into an octopus.
Yeah, that's right. Check for the tail. But as far as the music business goes, I missed the pre-COVID area. That's when the heyday of Midwest Contraband and Seach Ramshackle and
all our side projects.
And all our side projects.
I had Moonmen and fucking the Twitchy Fucks and.
It was great. It was great, but now it's like that just seems like it's so far removed. It's just not even.
It was almost like an artistic civil war. Going back to the people that were hysterically, hey, I love Pfizer, even though I'm a hippie.
Yeah.
Right. It really was like a civil war in the creative environment. And I know that I lost a lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of am of the opinion that artists can't ever truly have friends. Like, there's this weird undercurrent in the artistic world of competition that almost mimics the business world. And it's kind of like, I worked for a nonprofit once. It was the Humane Society, right? And they were the worst people. Like, worse than like a Fortune 500 company, because they were also special, don't you know? And they were also dedicated to the cause. And like, how dare you disagree with me? I'm here to protect the fucking hamsters. Right?
Right.
And like, working there, I was kind of like, Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm in boot camp. Like, I'm scared every second. And like, if I say the wrong fucking thing, I hate bunnies.
No, that's how I feel online at any moment. Yeah.
As they shoveled cats into the incinerator. Right? Like, how many cats do we have to euthanize today? Humanely? And there was a moment where I was like, I'm in nonprofit Auschwitz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's
There's a t-shirt.
yeah.
for
There's
you.
a
Nonprofit
T-shirt for you
Auschwitz.
for shoveling cats.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess what I was trying to get to is that the artists are typically the most fascistic and the most totalitarian. It's like, you know, they know better because they're so kind and so open.
I don't know about that. Like I can be, and I'm sure a lot of my bandmates will admit, I can be a real hard person to.
Hold that thought. Let me pause real quick because my screen went. So sorry, a little technical problem. You were saying about the creatives?
Yeah, I think creatives generally, least wise, the ones like myself, we're kind of hermits in a way. Like I like to just kind of mull over ideas and think about stuff. I'm not a real social person. You don't see me like hanging out at bars and talking stuff because I prefer to be on walks and stuff where I can just kind of experiment with ideas and just bounce stuff off the wall.
Which kind of goes to that pre-Instagram social media Gen X vibe,
Right,
which
yeah.
was, you know, we didn't instantly think, oh, wow, I'm being super creative. And the phone was up here to record how special and creative I am. We actually just did it.
Yeah. I don't want, well, and see, I'm against that. I don't want people to see how the sausage is made. I know that that's a lot of what they would call content these days. It's like, I got a song idea. I'm going to stream me, like producing it. I'm not into that because I wouldn't watch it. I would rather hear the final product and then make a decision.
Almost reverse engineer it.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
That's,
what were
that's
they
kinda,
doing there? Like, don't tell me what your fucking like magic trick is.
Well, don't get me started on how internet culture has
So how's internet culture
destroyed Mystique.
Destroyed Mystique. How,
Yeah, oh, I mean, it absolutely has destroyed Mystique. Like you'd see a band like Guar, and you're like, "What is going on with these crazy people?" And now it's like, if you want, you could find out the most detailed information on every member of Guar.
as a bass player, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you heard Les Claypool?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you were like, the fuck.
right. Yeah. Exactly.
And now you go online and there's 10,000 YouTube videos going, here's the new bass technique.
Oh yeah, no, I can watch Les and Rick Beato sit down and talk about how he wrote this particular bass riff, or everything's like, there's no more Mystique. Like in my mind, when the first time I heard Les, I was like, these guys are crazy. Like this isn't even music.
And you had to figure it out, you know.
And you
so
had to figure it out. It's
not like you yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe you'd get lucky and you'd be going through Sam Asher Guitar Center. It's like, here's a book of bass tabs for Les Claypool. But if you didn't find that, then yeah, the way you figured it out was by sitting down and just brute forcing it until you could figure it out.
In my first band, when I was in high school, like my sophomore year in high school or whatever, I was the only bass player in my I was the only musician that could play Tommy the Cat. And I knew like 6 or 7 really badass bass players, you know, just dudes that played bass in various bands.
Yeah.
And none of them and I just sat there and I was like,
until you got it, figured it out. Yeah.
Right. And it's like, okay, the guitar player's the guy that could play Tommy the Cat. Why? Because I wasn't on Instagram. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Nobody was like, no, it's 3/5 dead string. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, that sounded egotistical, but
it's funny because actually, it hasn't been until recent that I've actually, through watching stuff on YouTube, figured out how to play Tommy the Cat, because I never would have been able to figure it out by myself. Like I remember being in a cover band, the Blitz, in the late '90s, like I think '99, maybe the beginning of 2000, and it was like, we're gonna play "Voices Carry" by Till Tuesday. It's like
abstract.
Like, well, yeah,
or obscure, I guess.
But in order to figure it out, like I had to go to the library and find the CD, because I couldn't even. It's like you can't just turn on the song. Like,
but there's the one guy in the crowd that was like, yes.
Yeah, right. But I mean, even finding, like, there was no tab. Yeah, everything was, you just had to figure it out by ear. So the first thing I had to do was find a recording of the song, even, and that by itself was a chore. So like everything was just so much harder back then. And
for me, that was Peaches and Regalia by Zappa.
Yeah, right. And if someone could play that, you were like, man, they're good. Like you'd go see a cover band and they're playing Voices Carry, and it sounds pretty good. It's like, wow, this is a good band. But now anymore,
we were so determined to not be the hippies. Like, you know, I mean,
right.
Like our generation was like, the only holdover musically that we took from that era was like the Zeppelin, Sabbath, you know, the hard rockers. And then when we saw it go into glam, we were all kind of like, the
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
Right. But I mean, society sure as shit did.
Oh yeah.
But like, I still know, I still know somebody from that time period that calls me every 8 years. Man, do you want to do a cover band like Skid Row, Warrant?
Right.
And I'm like, are you still existing in that moment?
Mm.
Like, your whole life arc has progressed from when it was current and like trendy, and you got laid and had drugs and all this stuff. Like
The good old days.
that high school moment, and you're wanting to redo that.
Or hoping to redo it. Yeah,
Yeah.
at the very least.
So like, yeah, that's weird.
But for who? I mean, who wants to hear that anymore?
Right. Well, a lot of people.
Well, I mean, I think glam was kind of interesting because, I never cared for it. Like, I liked Metallica. I liked the kind of the darker, like, rock. And if someone was singing about, like, relationship stuff or,
Cherry
like,
pie.
yeah, or making out with, like, I was like, what? That's cheesy. And if you were wearing makeup, that was definitely a non-starter for me.
But, funny story for you. One time I played a song from that era for Max, my son, and it was Warrant. And I said, listen to how fucked up these lyrics are. She's only 17. Daddy says she's too young, but she's old enough for me. 17, she's on.
Oh, yeah. That was on the radio.
And this is why I have hope for my son's generation, because he looked at the phone like it was a shotgun, like it was dangerous. He was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to think how far we've come from that.
Yeah. Well, and don't forget, Jimmy Page had a 14-year-old girlfriend, remember?
I kind of think he's the one that started that whole groupie thing.
Elvis.
I mean, I'll bet, I can't remember the guy, no, CC DeVille from Warrant.
Poison.
Yeah.
With CC.
Right, yeah. But, I don't know whatever happened to that guy, but yeah, I mean, it was pretty. And then
He's considered the most hated guitar player from rock and roll. Like, if you do a survey of guitar players, they're like, what guitar player do you just hate? And they're like, CC fucking DeVille.
Yeah, She's My Cherry Pie. I mean, Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, how do you pull that off? Yeah. Only in the 80s, but...
Well, and that goes back to the whole, does entertainment have kind of a responsibility for that moral disconnect? Because, I mean, I know people that when Warrant comes on, they're like, it's like, okay,
I'm
glad
sure.
to know you're now a pedophile. Like,
well, I think, and I could be wrong, but my take on it was glam rock was kind of heavy metal for females. You know what I'm saying? It's
for mall rats.
For mall rats, but mostly for the softer side, for the guys who don't want to,
get
trapped
tattoo.
under ice. Yeah, or get
trapped under ice. Holy shit.
Or like it's too dark. Heavy metal is probably too dark for them. Maybe Black Sabbath is too dark for some females. But if you see some guy up here who's using the same makeup tips as you're using, and he's singing.
Well, and again, the feminization of masculization. Isn't it funny how there's currents that follow through?
Oh yeah, if I remember correctly, the guy from Warrant was a pretty decent looking guy. So I'm sure there was probably a ton of 17-year-old females that heard that song and were like, "Oh, I got a shot."
My son and I, again, we were walking through because we're expecting a new child in this house, right? And so we were walking through. It was Target or Kohl's or something, and we were just walking through like the baby section and all these different sections. And I kind of stopped him and I turned around and I said, never underestimate the purchasing power of the American female.
How about it?
Because for about 90% of the store, it was like fluffy pillow. Like I'd sleep in a fucking pit of my dog's shit, right? I literally would sleep in a pile of my dog's shit. And like everything was like, oh, it's so soft. And oh, it's so... effective in the kitchen, and oh, it's so pleasant,
right?
And I was like, where are the machine guns? Like, what happened to the stores that used to sell ammo? Okay, like I was getting real twitchy.
Well, I think you're an exception. I don't think a lot of guys do that kind of shopping.
Oh no, I see them. They walk right next to their girl, or they're by themselves, and they're kind of like, oh,
yeah, like, oh, I didn't realize this was so.
It's like the Fight Club scene, where it's like, okay, the sofa thing's finally taken care of, the catalog.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what it feels like. But baby stuff. Oof, I don't envy you that.
I love the baby. Thank you. Yeah, we're excited about it. Hopefully another subversive.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be. Yeah.
Well, is there anything on your mind that's particularly interesting to you to kind of close out? We've been talking what now for about an hour or something, or about an hour. You want to take a little break and like continue, or? Do you have time?
I guess I should give a shout out. Like I was saying, I got a new thing going. But first, let me kind of build up to it. So it's because it's really gonna seem out of place if I just jump right in now.
Well, that's all right, and we'll put something in the description, that will explain it. But go for it. Do it right to the audience.
Well,
entertainer.
So, Seach and I have been in a number of projects together. Would you say you remember, Seach, which show we played that was the most well attended?
Yes, it was the winery.
It was the one with Mallow Run.
Yeah,
with Maddie and the Roadies.
Yep.
Yeah, there's probably like 1,000 people.
Yeah, I think they stopped counting the entrance, and it got locked out at like 1280, if I remember the number.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, that was
that was a lot of fun, and the reason I say that is because that project was whatever. But I remember the big band that was on. I won't name them.
Yeah, I remember After Us.
And the absolute stuffy ass contempt and superiority that they projected across the entire thing.
They didn't like us, I don't think.
And I remember thinking, don't be that.
Yeah.
At that age. So here, I started off at 14, 12 saying never be these things. And it just kept going.
Yeah.
It was a good show though.
No, I loved Maddie and the Roadies. That was a really special thing for me to be a part of. Ended up, unfortunately, not panning out at all like I was hoping.
You're such a nice guy, Steve.
But man, that was a great opportunity. And I mean, it was brushing up against Blonde Entertainment, which was a big deal for me.
Maddie and the Roadies was a wonderful thing for me that I loved very much until it fucking wasn't. Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead just because I'm that guy and say you guys broke my fucking heart.
It was a heartbreaker. I don't think there's any one person. I think it was that's just that scene.
Oh yeah, it was. Her name began with an L.
Yeah.
the saboteur.
Yeah. Long story short, it got poached. Yeah. Our star performer got poached out from underneath us. But it was intriguing to me, and I liked it. So I've always kind of been chasing that level of notoriety, and so teamed up with my buddy John Bittner from Ultravolt.
He's been invited to the podcast.
Yeah, he's excited. We were joking about ways we could fuck with you, but we decided not to. So yeah,
bring it on.
But so we're putting together a cover act, a dance pop cover act.
Nice.
Goes under the name Deca-Dance.
Ooh,
yeah,
that is so generic.
It's perfect for a cover. Yeah. It took us a long time to come to a name, by the way, because
it's because Steel Panther was taken.
Steel Panther was taken, and it's hard to find a name that's cheesy enough, but also not too cheesy. Yeah,
it works.
Yeah, and it works.
People be like, "Oh, Deca-Dance." They're so clever.
Yeah, we probably went through like 8 different iterations before we arrived at Deca-Dance, and I would still think a lot of people in the band are kind of on the fence of it, but I think it gets the job done. So Deca-Dance, we're getting ready to start gigging, and that's pretty fun. It's one of the operations. We've got 2 lead singers, Dawn Vincent and Kim Morgan.
Gotta have the harmonies. The people in the bars expect it.
Well, that's something I took away from Maddie and the Roadies, because
female front person is king.
Female front person is king, but she can't do it by herself because you got to have the harmonies. I think that's what really separates a pretty good band from a pretty all right band.
I'd agree.
So yeah, we got that. We got my buddy Adam Scroggin playing keyboards.
I know that name, but I don't think I've ever met them. I think I've just heard it in various conversations.
He was big on social media a while back. I think he's kind of tapered off on that, but he's a bro. He plays keyboards and he's a stellar musician, and it's a really, really great outfit. So
awesome.
Yeah, looking forward to getting it off the ground.
On bass.
Oh yeah, you know me, right? And it's fun playing some Dua Lipa, playing all sorts of stuff that I never thought I would ever play, but. Yeah, like I said, from Maddie and the Roadies, it was like that's fun, and if this is what the people want to hear, like maybe there's some way I can find stuff that's not too cringe.
I've never had that artistic snobbery. If I was going to be in a cover band, I didn't see it as dirtying my image or my reputation, as long as the diligence and the expertise were applied to it. And so when I would play a song, I would try to be as accurate to the guitar player as possible.
I think that helps.
Right, because it's like I'm not going to look down my nose at Milli Vanilli. Like maybe Milli Vanilli, but I'm not going to look down my nose at Miley Cyrus. Like I played Flowers. Like I can buy myself flowers, right?
Yeah.
And I found myself coming up with like a cool little thummy walkie bass line between the D minor, C, G, whatever the fuck it was. And I was like, that's fun. And it's actually a really generic poppy chord. So, when I see those artistic, the problem with cover bands is when the drama comes in.
Yeah.
And you have all of the 50 competing cover bands undercutting each other and saying shit about you.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he does heroin. Dude, I'm literally a Mormon, right? It's like people do the most So when I was in Soul Rocker and Toxic, which were kind of like 1970s fuck you rock cover bands, with Myron Page, the Preacher Man, and various other people, that scene, the hard rock cover band scene, was wild. Like, it was high school plus sorority drama fucking shit, dude. And, like, I love those people. Like, the people I met in that community, to this day, I'll die, but I'm calling you out because I'm your friend. Like, I mean, there was some fucking, like, campy-ass, bullshitty drama in that cover band scene.
It lends itself, nicely over to it.
And that's what always repels me from even thinking about, like, starting one up, because it's just like, Jesus, I got to dive back into that Shark Tank.
Yeah, that's the dark side of the covers for sure.
Well, because I mean, it's a good way for a musician to keep the lights on and buy stuff for the kids for Christmas. I mean, I totally get the rationality behind wanting to be in a pro-ass. I've got a buddy that does a Pink Floyd tribute in Las Vegas 3 times a year, and he goes out there and he comes back with like 18 large.
Yeah, not too
each
bad.
time.
Not too bad. Was he playing the Sphere?
I don't know. He's
That'd be a cool gig. But and for me, I think by playing covers, as cornball as it is, it did kind of reignite my love for playing bass. And you can, if you do it right, which is the way you did it, which is you kind of respect the source material and you try to honor it. Mm-hmm. I think you can get a lot out of playing covers. But if you just kind of open stage it, where you're just like just faking it, then it's corny, I think.
Let's get deep. Like, because I've thought about this, like, just like our generation in music, like, you have to rationalize things if you have ethics, right? Every cover song was once original.
Right.
So that's the base level. Like, somebody wrote that and somebody loved it. Mm-hmm. And somebody thought, Jesus, this is the one. And so it's like, I have to honor that even if it's disco. Right? Or even if it's Cat Stevens or some fucking shit, like, much love.
Some songs are harder than others, for sure.
Well, the 4-chord trend that we have now, I mean, it's hard. Like, every song I learn has like 3 chords and then like a weird diminish. And they're like, we're artists. Okay. But like, so like, there are some things, like, I won't do some guitar solos. Like, I've told cover bands straight out, it's like, I'm not going to do that Jimmy Page solo.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's kind of sacred. Like, that's sacred, so I'm not playing a whole lot of love. I'll play fucking good time, bad times. I'll play fucking whatever. But
you're saying the whole song, not the solo.
I'm not doing it.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going.
Scruples.
I could do it, and I could do it that close to perfect, but it's never going to be Jimmy Page doing it on that fucking record.
And for you, that's...
It's a sacred spot. It would be like throwing a Roman coin on a fucking Hindu altar. It's like, I'm not going to do it. So, but
I like that analogy.
But what I'm saying is that, like, that's how you do it. And if you do it that way, the audience responds. Like, if they see a dude totally feeling a Jimi Hendrix solo, they will love you forever. If they see you pressing your 15 pedals of digital sound effects to sound like Jimi Hendrix, they hate you.
Yeah. It goes back to the AI thing, but yeah.
I got to do one. I keep jumping in on you, but I hate to do it. One of my favorite all-time musical moments was a cover band moment, and I was playing an Army veteran stage outside of like a VFW or something, and it was on this huge stage, and I'm playing "Hey Joe" by Jimi Hendrix, and they had Hueys, the helicopters, giving kids rides for fun, like, pay $15.
Oh my God, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so like the whole day you have helicopters flying around. I was so busy setting up and stuff, I hadn't really even noticed the helicopters thing. And so I kick into Hey Joe guitar solo, that big bend at the start. And right when it happens, a fucking Huey flies over the stage and comes to a landing off to the side of the fence. And, the wind's going and shit. And I'm I'm playing Jimi Hendrix, like the Vietnam voice of a generation, where like all the Vietnam guys were. And dude, it was like the dopest musical moment of my life. And then the helicopter took off again and like did one of those cool turns, like right by the end. And I hear, whoa, and I'm like, "Hey Joe."
3 kids fell out. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, that they were dropping like Viet Cong.
It's like confetti.
It was like a CIA op in Vietnam. Here's your child. Are you gonna talk now, motherfucker? Where's the nearest rallies? Okay. That was one of our big chuckle moments.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, at the end of the day, musicians are lovers of music, and
Yeah.
so I'm never gonna shit on some guy that does a cover band.
No, and I love music, but even bigger than that, I just love creativity in general. Like I love to see people do stuff I never would have thought of, and in fact, that's usually my standard for whether or not I see a lot of value in. Like if I hear a song, it's like, oh, I could have thought that song up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I it's not as meaningful to me as hearing.
And then
something.
you hear "Civilized Worm" by the Melvins.
Right.
I mean, to this day, there's nothing more unique than that song to me.
The Melvins have a ton of unique, but yeah, and that's why the Melvins. The thing is, though, the gamble is that some people take it, some people will leave it. You know,
The problem is you're the most interesting band that nobody ever heard of.
Well, yeah,
Right?
I've held that mantle, I think, for years.
The circling, John Molehill.
Yeah,
in the Circling Birds, he would whenever he would post something or on stage, he'd be like, "Hey, we're the greatest band nobody's ever heard of."
Yeah, Indie's best kept secret.
Yes. Well, that makes it sound almost
That
reputable.
makes it.
Well, cool, Steve. Well, I mean, I thought I kind of wanted to keep you for like 2 hours or something, but I think we had pretty good discussion.
We keep it dense.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're okay with it for your first visit, and like I said, I want to have you back. So whenever.
No, I love it. I always love talking to you, Seach, and this is the first discussion of many.
Rhonda. All right. So this was Stephen Darbro from Ultravolt, Midwest Contraband, and Modian Slip.
Modian Slip, and now Deca-Dance.
As well as a crazy video creator, and he does does all sorts of cool stuff.
Love that shit.
Steve, you're one of the greatest.
Thank you, Seach.
All righty. Bye, everybody.
All right, I think we